Several Chico police officers and surrounding agencies responded to an active shooter incident at the library. Right now, what we have is 2 confirmed deaths. We had an open 911 line that you could hear gunshots and people screaming.
A frantic 911 call, gunshots in the background, people screaming for help. Those were the chilling sounds that alerted police to a deadly shooting unfolding inside a Northern California library, where a routine evening suddenly spiraled into a tragedy that left 2 people dead. The terrifying sequence of events unfolded shortly after 5 p.m. local time. According to Chico Police Chief Billy Aldridge, callers could be heard amid the chaos as gunfire rang out inside the building. During a news conference, Aldridge said dispatchers heard gunshots and people screaming coming from inside the library. Officers rushed to the scene, but by the time police entered the building, the suspect was already on the move.
What I have in terms of information for you tonight is that around 5:12 today, you received a call of shots fired inside of the Butte County Library, Chico branch. We had an open 911 line that you could hear gunshots and people screaming. Several Chico police officers and surrounding agencies responded to an active shooter incident at the library. We had units, police officers on scene very quick after the initial call to 911.
According to Chief Aldridge, the gunmen fled through the rear of the library as officers moved in. What followed was a swift law enforcement response. Additional officers positioned behind the building intercepted the suspect and took the individual into custody. The suspect's identity has not yet been released.
The officers put together an entry team into the library. As they made entry, the suspect fled out the back of the library where Chico police officers had already set a perimeter, and were able to take him into custody shortly thereafter.
Investigators are now working to determine exactly what led to the deadly shooting and whether the victims were specifically targeted. For now, authorities have confirmed only the grim toll. 2 people lost their lives. A community is left shaken, and detectives are searching for answers.
Right now, what we have is 2 confirmed deaths and 1 confirmed injury. And we're not going to release any of those victims' names until we've confirmed that the next of kin has been notified. One of those was a juvenile who has been transported to the hospital for
The violence has once again raised concerns about public safety in places meant to be safe gathering spaces for families, students, and local residents. And for California, the latest bloodshed comes against the backdrop of another dramatic law enforcement crisis earlier in the month. A tense hostage situation at a California building housing a Chase Bank branch and school district offices ended only after a 15-hour standoff.
A dramatic hostage crisis in California ended with an FBI shooting after a tense 12-hour standoff that forced evacuations, triggered a massive law enforcement response, and left an entire downtown area on edge. Authorities say the suspect, who allegedly threatened to detonate a bomb and held multiple people hostage inside a building housing both a bank branch and school district offices, was shot and killed during what officials described as an officer-involved shooting involving FBI personnel.
First and foremost, I do want to let everyone know that we're incredibly relieved to report that all of the hostages that were involved have been safely recovered and reunited with their families. There were a total of 10 members of our community whose lives were changed yesterday, unexpectedly, but we are thankful that they have been reunited with their loved ones after this ordeal. Regarding the specific details that led up to this, at approximately 12:59 p.m. yesterday afternoon, we began receiving calls related to a suspect that was in possession of an explosive device who had entered the Chase Bank building at 1515 17th Street. As the situation unfolded, our responding personnel and dispatchers confirmed that the adult male suspect had barricaded himself within the second floor of the building and had taken several hostages. The suspect advised he had explosives attached to his person, which our personnel could see as well. He also told law enforcement that additional explosives had been attached to some of the hostages, which we confirmed based on our own observations.
The subject, his name was Anthony Scott Searles Harris. That's Anthony Scott, and I'll spell the last name Searles Harris, Harris. He was a 41-year-old white male who served in the U.S. Army from 2006 to 2007. However, he was dishonorably discharged for going AWOL. That's absent without leave. At approximately 4:30 a.m. this morning, that's when the hostage rescue team neutralized this subject.
The incident unfolded in downtown Bakersfield on Tuesday afternoon. Police were initially dispatched after receiving reports of a bomb threat inside a Chase Bank building. What began as a frightening threat quickly escalated into a full-scale hostage situation. According to authorities, the suspect barricaded himself inside a room with multiple hostages shortly after 1 p.m. and refused to release them. Law enforcement agencies from across the region rushed to the scene. Police vehicles, tactical teams, emergency responders, and federal agents surrounded the area as officials worked to prevent the situation from becoming even more dangerous. Nearby buildings, including City Hall and police headquarters, were evacuated as a precaution. Roads around the scene were shut down, creating major disruptions throughout downtown Bakersfield. As the hours passed, negotiators remained in contact with the suspect by phone in an effort to secure the release of the hostages without violence. Authorities emphasized that their goal was to bring the situation to a peaceful conclusion. Speaking during the standoff, Bakersfield Police Sergeant Eric Celadon said every available resource had been deployed to ensure the safest possible outcome. After several tense hours, negotiators achieved their first breakthrough. At approximately 5 p.m., one hostage was successfully released. Several hours later, around 9 p.m., a second hostage was freed. Despite those developments, the suspect continued refusing to surrender. The standoff stretched through the evening and into the early morning hours. Authorities also faced another major challenge. Although the suspect repeatedly referenced a bomb, investigators were unable to immediately verify whether an explosive device actually existed. That uncertainty forced police to proceed with extreme caution throughout the operation. As the crisis continued, a witness who escapes during the early moments of the incident describes the terrifying experience. Meanwhile, negotiators continued their efforts throughout the night. Authorities have not publicly detailed what occurred during the final moments of the standoff. However, roughly 12 hours after the crisis began, the confrontation came to a violent end. The Bakersfield Police Department later confirmed that the suspect died during an officer-involved shooting involving FBI personnel. Officials have not yet released details regarding what prompted agents to open fire. Investigators are expected to conduct a standard review of the shooting as authorities work to reconstruct the final sequence of events. Police say everyone remaining inside the building was ultimately brought to safety. No hostage fatalities were reported. Officials have also not announced whether any explosive devices were recovered at the scene. For residents and workers in downtown Bakersfield, Tuesday's events transformed an ordinary afternoon into a prolonged and frightening emergency. And while the crisis ultimately ended without the loss of any hostages, investigators are still working to determine exactly what motivated the suspect and whether the bomb threat was ever credible. As the investigation continues, authorities are expected to release additional information regarding both the suspect and the circumstances that led to the deadly conclusion of the standoff.